sunny? Is it rainy?
No.
Do you think it might rain?
No. Yes.
At Katie's Kids Child Care Center, 3-year-old Bianca has been chosen as today's class meteorologist.
It's gonna be stormy.
This hands-on role helps her learn about the weather and gives her the opportunity to share her knowledge with her classmates. The curriculum at Katie's Kids is dedicated to the idea that play and hands-on discovery are the best ways for young children to learn. According to Center Director Maureen Kelly, playful exploration boosts cognitive, physical, emotional, and social development as children interact with the world around them.
One of the things I believe in a play-based environment, children learn they learn problem-solving skills. They learn certainly how to get along with others. They get in touch with how they're feeling, and they also get to emulate real life. You know, one of the best things about play-based, and it's the way the teachers, of course, set up the environment as well, is to give children the opportunity to play and take it to that next level.
Meanwhile, the teachers at the center gently guide children's learning using what the center staff calls the project approach.
The project approach is a wide encompassing approach for children to learn by. We take what the children are interested in currently and build upon those interests. We listen to what they're involved in and what their curiosity is seeking, and then we can address those things by leading them toward a project which can be inclusive of many disciplines. It can incorporate math, science, social studies, as well as some social skills, some emotional development.
Currently, the children are immersed in a project that focuses on frogs. Teachers like Kara Klockengay have organized playful, exploratory experiences in reading, vocabulary, math, and science around the children's interest in the amphibians and how they live.
The students don't realize sometimes that they're being taught. That's the beauty part of this approach. For instance, in our backyard project, the interest has led us into toads, frogs, tadpoles, and their life cycle. So in reading books, we learn more, and we may come up with other key elements. We took lily pads and we painted paper plates, made lily pads yesterday. When they were all dry and ready, we're using them today to do some jumping activities and counting activities. So here we have motor skills, we have math for counting, we had the science of the fact that the frog may be in an environment or habitat that includes lily pads. We've done several things with observing outside, listening, sensory things. So there's just so many things that you can use.
We have projects that last 3 months. We have projects that last 2 weeks. We have projects that don't really get off the ground, so people often ask me, they go, well, wait a minute, you've got this amount of children in the room, how do you use their interests? Well, I think that's part of that relationship piece. That's part of that when you're interacting with children and kind of picking up on what they're showing an interest in.
Playful learning means that children use what's around them to stimulate their own learning, with teachers as guides. This also builds self-confidence, in part because children are actively making choices throughout each day, not just being told what to do.
I think that we could all agree that children are curious about the whole world. Each individual child tends to surprise me at times because of the kinds of questions they ask. And not only is it a question to me, but it's also a way that I can assess a child's development because of the nature of the question.
One of the things that I feel so strongly about is with children and adults actually, if they feel a sense of belonging, we know the learning is going to occur. And so when children are exposed to things that they're interested in, meaningful things, and then they are going to learn in meaningful ways. So a good example of that is, a child might have a strong interest in the ocean. They've heard about the ocean, they visited the ocean or whatever. So using the ocean then to teach them math and science and literacy, but in meaningful, fun ways.
For the teachers at Katie's Kids, part of playful learning is letting the children participate in the plans for each day.
Hey, would you like to read this?
It may sound like an opportunity for chaos, but teachers say it actually has the opposite effect.
When you look in a room, for example, a play-based environment, and you look in a room, it might look a little chaotic to you because it's, there's small groups of children, maybe there's a little louder than usual, there's some more things happening, and you might think, wow, how can they be learning? But if you step back and start looking at the learning and what's happening, and it's so much more positive.
Warm, caring teacher-child relationships help make the project approach successful. A teacher is matched with each child, even if that adult is not the child's primary teacher, which helps build a family atmosphere.
I want teachers that are not only educated and understand how children grow and develop, I want caring people. I want people who are going to get excited, when a child identifies a letter or is excited because they found a frog on the playground, which we did, that happened yet, a toad it was actually, and so they looked it up and they're feeding it and they're doing all those kinds of things. But I want a teacher who gets excited.
As more emphasis is placed on children's academic achievement, some child experts worry that teacher-directed academic instruction is overwhelming even preschool education, and the power of play is being lost. They say if young children are not encouraged to play, they miss vital opportunities to acquire self-regulation, the capacity to set their own limits and boundaries. They are also robbed of a sense of enthusiasm for learning and of a major context for developing social cooperation, problem-solving skills, and creative expression, abilities that lay the foundation for a successful adult life.
There are a lot of things that play offers. One of the things is success. There's no one to say you lost, you won, you're doing great, you're not doing great. If they made it, they're happy with what they did. They enjoyed the process. The process is very important. Possibly they may get in a conflict when another student comes up and isn't willing to take a turn or to share. So there's a moment where a teacher can come along and help the child learn language, to resolve conflict. Those kinds of things will carry out for the child in school, in life, their life-building skills.
I don't like to hear, for example, I'm bored. Children have no reason to be bored because when you have a group of kids together, they can, get very creative. And I think what we're seeing, and as you well know, there's so much TV and so many computers. And I do think it has an impact in how our children are, as they grow, how their thinking skills and their problem-solving skills and their coping skills.
So how do parents react to this play-based curriculum?
I've had parents here who are they know their children are thriving. They're very happy with everything. In fact, one in particular is a parent, is an educator. And she said, I know that he's happy here and I know that he's doing well, but what's going to happen when he gets to that kindergarten program? I know that kindergarten teacher. That kindergarten teacher will not like him. He's creative, he's excited. And the truth is, when they have that foundation, they can succeed in those type of programs. One of the things that people say, that I've had people say in the community is, wow, Katie's Kids is a great place, but all they do is play. And I said, let's talk a little bit about that. Yes, we do play, but we are learning meaningful things in meaningful ways.
Katie's Kids leaders say that the structured academic approach encouraged by some preschools is all about outcomes on paper, while their mission is to look at a child as a whole person.
And I think there are children that they're in programs that are not encouraging the children to learn in meaningful ways. And so I do think it can be damaging. There's a lot more stress. I mean, I'm amazed at the amount of stress in young children, when they, in early childhood or even when they get to elementary school. Nothing makes me happier to see children coming in excited and going home, with happy, for what they accomplished during the day, and wanting to come back in the next day. So I really believe that strong in, and I've seen it. I know that it works.
Children leave Katie's Kids ready for kindergarten thanks to a strong foundation of playful exploration.
In our community and every community are very big about saying, this is what children need to know before they go to kindergarten. And if you look at the list that they provide families, it's very academic based. They need to write their name, they need to, recognize shapes, they need to do all of these things. But they don't mention social emotional skills. They don't mention they need to know what to do if they need help. They need to know how to solve a problem. They need to know how to tell a friend, stop, I don't like that. And so the skills that we talk about, the social emotional skills, the problem solving skills, the using conflict as an opportunity to teach, the project approach, making that, the sense of wonder, the sense of wanting to learn, go to the next level. That is what they need to get ready for school.
Bianca's teachers say that she is an excellent example of the academic and social benefits of playful learning and the project approach.
She's a very outgoing, articulate child, especially for her age of 3. Things that I'm trying to develop in her have more to do with social, emotional, and less to do with her cognitive development. She has a huge vocabulary. She's very articulate, as I said, and she can converse great conversations with people. But she tends to want a lot of attention, very common. But a teacher only has so much time, and so that's one thing maybe Bianca or another student would profit from in the long run, is to learn to do things without asking for help or without seeking attention.
The playful, personalized learning environment at Katie's Kids enables teachers to focus on the unique needs of children like Bianca. The teachers are convinced that if you don't acknowledge each child's individuality and complexity, you are missing out on an opportunity to help that child develop into a whole, secure person, better prepared than they otherwise would be to transition into the kindergarten setting. Play is the magic that helps young children understand themselves, other people, and their place in the surrounding world.